Today, I loaded up my guitar lumber and I took a trip out to Colton, Oregon to visit my friend Richard. You can find him on Instagram at Building Happiness. Him and his fiancee Cassie have been building this tiny home for the last couple of years, and it is badass. Needless to say, this dude knows his way around the wood shop. This whole build is truly remarkable, and I highly recommend checking out their Instagram, Building Happiness. You can see the whole project from start to finish. We had a nice socially distant high five and a slight disagreement about a few things. Luckily, after a few hours of battle, we were able to settle our differences, and Richard was cool enough to help me get to work on making these pieces guitar buildable. Richard was quickly able to determine that these pieces that I was going to build with needed a little bit of extra love with leveling. So we went to work building a jig to slide underneath the piece in order to get it as flush and as true as humanly possible. Using a level, he leveled out the extension table, made sure everything was right with it. This is more of the jig. After the first pass with the jig, bringing this surface completely level, running it, checking it with some calipers and whatnot, the second piece will be passed through without the jig plate. After carefully checking out these board pieces and making sure they're all an appropriate thickness, we then cut them directly in half. We flipped them over, keeping them flat so that the grain pattern was matchbooked. We then marked each side of these with corresponding numbers, or letters rather, and we planed each connecting joint opposite of one another to be sure that there was a really good adhesion surface. And this is me using the joiner like the 2 times I did today. Richard actually ended up doing most of this work for me, and I am pretty happy about it because I know that these seals are all going to be good and these joints are all going to be perfect. Ah yes, delicious Telecaster dust. Well, I said so long to Richard. I took my pieces home, then laid tape across the 2 joined pieces and then folded them back like a book. This allows me to keep the pieces just about where I want them. Also, it's going to make for only one side having any overflow glue, so I don't really have to worry as much about dripping. Put the glue on pretty liberally. I would rather have way too much glue and just remove it, with tools, rather than not enough to make this a tenacious bond. Yeah, all right. Okay, maybe not this much glue. You can wipe a little bit off. I went a little crazy with it. All right, now it's time to fold her back up. Use as many clamps as you got for this job. The better hold that you have on it, it can't hurt. It's going to make for a really nice, strong joint. Kind of alternate the clamps too as you put them on. That way you don't have too much pull from one side as opposed to the other. And I put these little splints on each end using some just poplar strips. I don't know that those are going to be really all that effective, but more is better in this situation. It really is. I'm going to leave it set up in a room that's about 70 degrees, at least for 24 hours. I'll be cutting a guitar out of this in no time.